this game is unplayable. I've never played a game so bad. Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're doing well. And in this video, I want to discuss some of the games that I've been playing in February. I've mostly been playing lighter games this month. I've been really waiting for Resident Evil Requiem to come out. I didn't want to start too many games that were story-based and be half done. I really want to jump into Resident Evil as soon as it came out. And I have a first impressions video, so if you are interested in Resident Evil 9, my first impressions, I'll have it up here linked. And yeah, since I've been kind of just playing games here and there, it's kind of going to be a lot of lighter games that I've been playing this month, but also I was able to knock out one game that I did have on my list for 2026, so I'll be discussing that here in this video. But I also went out of town 1 week this month, so I kind of couldn't really do much that week gaming wise. I was able to bring my Switch 2 on the plane and stuff like that, so I was able to play a few games on the Switch 2, which that's the first time I've really played it handheld mode extensively, so I've pretty impressed with it so far. I do have an LG OLED as my main gaming display, so I mainly just play games on that. I don't really love the Switch 2 handheld, but yeah, if you are interested in seeing these games that I've played this month, go ahead and stick around and we'll see you there. For this first section of the video, I wanted to discuss the quick plays that I played this month. Games I really didn't like sink my teeth in too hardcore. I mainly just picked them up. You know, like there's some days you get off of work or you get out of school or whatever, and you don't really want to sit down and commit to a game or get far in the story or really commit a lot of time to it. This is kind of the games that I kind of like fell to when I was just wanted to play something but didn't want to commit too hard. So in January, I played and finished Castlevania Bloodlines. I finished it with Eric, the guy with the spear. So I wanted to actually complete it with John Morris. He's the guy with the whip, the more conventional style of Castlevania. And I think I beat it on my second attempt. The first attempt I died on, it didn't really matter, but the second attempt I made it all the way to the end and beat the final boss, and I really enjoyed it with John Morrison, or John Morris, not Morrison, John Morris. One thing, when I was originally playing with him on my first playthrough, like before I started playing as Eric in January, I didn't really realize that his whip, when I was playing, the whip wasn't long. There's like drops and pickups you can get when you're playing, and it makes your whip longer so you can hit enemies from further away. When I was first playing Castlevania Bloodlines, I didn't know that the whip got longer like that. So when I was playing as him, I reviewed some of my like game footage, and I had this like tiny whip, and like I wasn't hitting anything with it. I'm like, why can't I hit anything with this guy? And yeah, so that's why I was doing no good with him. I kept losing my long whip from, like, whenever you die, you kind of lose like all your power-ups and stuff like that. So on my next playthrough, since I already knew the game pretty well and knew how to do everything, it really wasn't an issue actually playing with John this time. And sticking to the Sega Genesis from Castlevania Bloodlines, I went ahead and started playing. I was in like a superhero mood, so I went ahead and picked up or played the Batman the movie game. This game is the Sunsoft one. I really enjoyed playing it. The music it slaps. It's so good, and the graphics are fun to look at, and the mechanics are kind of simple. It's kind of it seems like an early Genesis game, so it's pretty simple. You just got to punch, and you have like a grappling hook. His like grappling hook and his batarang, but it's pretty simple to play. I made it to like level 4 or something like that. I didn't get that far, but I only did like 1 or 2 play sessions of this, so I really wasn't trying to beat the game or anything. It's more of like, I'm in a Batman mood, let's play a Batman game and see how far we can get without knowing much. But since I forget some of these older games, you kind of have to like read the manual or read something about the game, because there's a lot of things they just don't tell you. I think in like level 3, there's like a part where you walk to the right, like all older games, you walk to the right, and then there's like 2 boxes stacked on top of each other, and you can't like jump over it. You don't have enough hops to get over it or whatever. And I didn't know about the grappling hook thing that he has, and there's these pipes that blow up, and it you have to like get onto this pipe to jump over these boxes. And like I sat there for like probably like 15 minutes. Like I'm like, what do I need to do here? And they have like these enemies running left and right, and they keep hitting you. I mean, I was dodging them, but they do keep hitting you because you're trying to figure it out, and there's enemies, nonstop enemies coming left and right over and over again. But then I was like, what do I need to do? And then I realized, oh, I have a grappling hook. And then it took me a while to think about it, but yeah, it was, I had to like shoot up to the pipe or whatever, and then double jump over, which is pretty obvious, like once you know that you have a grappling hook, but I didn't know that. So it's just something the game doesn't really teach you, because a lot of older games don't like teach you stuff like that. So they kind of expected you to like read the manual. So that was a learning experience, but I really had a good time playing that for the 1 or 2 nights that I played it. And yeah, I'm probably gonna play it more in the future, but right now with Resident Evil 9 being out, I'm kind of just heads down on that, and it's going to be a fun time playing that. And staying on the Batman train here, I went ahead and tried out Batman Forever on the Sega Genesis, and this game this game is unplayable. I've never played a game so bad. It's I think I only played it once. I never played this Batman Forever game, and I know it's been ported to like the PS1 and maybe the Saturn and some like better consoles, like not the Genesis. But I don't even know what I was doing half the time. Like, yeah, it's like a beat 'em up like any like older style game from those generations, but I feel like I was fighting these bad guys and I was in a jail, and I don't even know what was happening. I also haven't watched the movie Batman Forever, so like that's another thing, is I don't really know what's going on with that. So I'm not really attached to that at all. So it's just funny seeing this game is even like sent out to people. I can't believe people had to buy this game because it's basically unplayable. And then there was another part of the game where there's like holes in the ground. There's like little like it's like the levels are multi-tiered or whatever. So like you could like you go left to right on the top section, and then you go down, and then there's like stuff down there, and then you can use the batarang and go up between them. But the game doesn't teach you that. You kind of just need to figure it out. But I was like spamming every single button. Like I was literally like, what do I need to do? I'm like spamming down, I'm spamming jump, I'm spamming like 3 buttons at a time. And then Batman magically like goes down the hole or whatever that's in the ground. He went down the hole, but I'm like, I don't even know what button combination got me to go through the hole. So it's like there was a point where I was just sitting there and I was just spamming buttons. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this button combination. I'm gonna do this button combination. And even when I was sitting there doing that, I still couldn't figure out what buttons it was. It was just magic. There was a section of the game where I think I took out all the enemies and did everything, and there was nothing left for me to do. I didn't even know what I needed to do next. And I even was like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and like walk around and try to figure out where I need to go. And I think I spent 20 minutes to 25 minutes walking around, and I'm like, where do I need to go? I have no idea. And that's when I basically turned it off, because there was nowhere else to go, and I didn't know if I needed to like crawl or slide through something like that. Maybe I just suck at playing the game, or there are the buttons aren't that complicated. But when I was playing it, it just wasn't clicking with me, and I'm probably not going back to this game on the Genesis. I might try it on the PS1 now that I know what it's like on the Genesis, just to see if it's any better. And sticking here with the quick plays, I went ahead and started playing Final Fantasy VII again on PS1 on the CRT, and I think I played maybe like 3 or 4 sessions of this. I basically did the bombing run, and then I got to Aerith's house, and so it was just a fun, just to play it. And later in this video, I'll be discussing the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo on Switch 2, but I wanted to basically compare them back to back, since I knew I was going to be going out of town. So I went ahead and played all that section, because the demo is just the bombing run. So I wanted to play it on the original and see where I got. And also, I think I added some gameplay of Final Fantasy VII into a previous video that I made. I think it's called this is gaming stale, or why gaming feels stale, or ways to get around games being stale. And I threw some gameplay of it in there, so I was playing it for that video also. But it's always a fun time playing Final Fantasy VII, and especially on a CRT. It looks amazing. You don't see all the jank polygons that you would see when you're playing it on like the modern ports of it on like the PS4. Piggybacking off of that, I went ahead and played Final Fantasy IX for a little bit. That video was also featured in my Stale Games video, but I think I only did one session of this and I made it all the way to, not all the way, but I made it to the Evil Forest, basically the intro of the game. And wow, Final Fantasy IX looks so good. Final Fantasy VII looks great. Like I love the pre-rendered backgrounds and everything like that, but the character models, like I said earlier, like it looks better on a CRT, but it was their first game on the PlayStation, so you could tell that they were just learning how to use 3D software and stuff like that. But 9, you can tell the difference from 1997 to, I think Final Fantasy 9 came out in 2000. You can really tell the difference between the quality of the character models, and Final Fantasy 9 just has a good look to it and it really holds up. And yeah, the one thing that always trips me up on Final Fantasy 9 is that you have 4 players in your party. So I feel like every time I'm playing 9, I always end up like one of my party members ends up dying, and I'm playing this game of like, okay, 3 of us are alive, 2 of you are attacking, and then 1 person is reviving. So yeah, but it's always a fun time playing Final Fantasy 9 and going back to it. And if you guys are enjoying the content, please leave a like and a subscribe. It really helps out the channel and shows me that you guys are liking the content. And let's move on to the next section of this video I have here, and that's demos. I played 3 demos this month because I went out of town, and like I said earlier, I wasn't really wanting to sink my teeth into a lot of big games. And this also gave me the ability to play some games, some like upcoming games that I really wanted to pick up anyways, and I kind of been holding off on playing them. But since I had some downtime on like playing bigger games, this was the perfect time to go ahead and jump into that. So the first one we'll be talking about here is Final Fantasy VII Remake on Switch 2. This game, like I said earlier, I played the OG for a video that I did, and then I played this game while I was on the plane going out of town, and this game really holds up on the Switch 2. I know it was originally a PS4 game, but wow, it really holds up. And even if it is at 30 FPS, I think playing it, I played it only in handheld, or I played it in handheld for the first time, and then I captured some footage in dock play, and on handheld mode the game ran flawlessly. I mean, I did see a few like dips here and there, but it wasn't like dips bad. It wasn't like pulling like N64 where it's like in the 20 FPS like range. Like deep down, it was just like maybe it would drop a frame here or there, and it wasn't bad. And the controls, the one thing that kind of like trips me up is, you know, on PlayStation, X is like confirm and then circle is like back out or like exit. On Switch, it's flipped. So I've played Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth a few times, and I'm so used to, I have like muscle memory of like hitting the buttons and like opening up the menus and like casting the spells and doing the attacks and stuff like that. On Switch, it's flipped. So I was doing stuff backwards. So it was really tripping me up a few times where I was like, I need to hit this really quick, and then I was pressing the wrong button, and then I end up getting hit. But yeah, it was just the bombing run. Like they've done that demo before on PS4 and PS5 and stuff like that. But yeah, it was just a fun game going back to it, and it just runs great on the Switch too. And I'm not picking it up because I've already played it multiple times. I think I bought it on PS4, PS5, the remake. So it's like, I'm not going to pay for it again just to play it again when I can play the better version on PS5. But it was fun playing on the plane, and it served what it needed to do. And the next game that I'll be talking about that I've played this month was Pragmata. This game, I've been very interested in this game ever since I saw it like last year. I think they showed it again at a State of Play. It was interesting showing the fighting style where it's like you can shoot, but you have like this thing, this like UI that pops up, and you need to move through it to give more damage to the enemy. I was like, oh, how is this gonna play? And I feel like when you just have like one enemy, it's kind of like, oh, it's kind of annoying if you just have a single like a grunt enemy that you're gonna kill in like 5 or 6 seconds, where it's just a waste of time to do it. But I think what's gonna make this system really fun is when you have 5 or 6 enemies or multiple enemies like on the playfield at a time, and you need to pick and choose, all right, I need to take this person out, or this person's the closest, I'm going to do the game on them and make them weak. Or I've even thought about, if you have so many coming to hit you, when you do that game and you successfully do it, they're kind of stunned for a second. So it might even be worth like stunning a few of them at one time so they all stop moving, and then you take one out and then let them regain their movement again and then move on. So there's like, it's like there's a fun meta game with this game when you're playing it. So there's a lot of like strategy, and there's also a bunch of like drops and like level ups for this game. So I feel like by the time you get to the end of it, you're going to be able to make your build really good and like satisfying to play. Also in the demo, you do like a boss fight or a boss mode, and that boss fight was like I said, like it's you're facing a boss, so they don't just like you don't take them out in 5 seconds. You have to do that mini game multiple times to stun them, and then you need to hit them in certain spots. And it was really satisfying to play, and it's just a new game like play mechanic that I haven't seen before. So I'm just really interested whenever I do get to get this game into my hands. And the last game in the section I want to discuss was Mina the Hollower. I have been waiting for this game for a while. I know they delayed it last year because of just polishing the game and make sure it's ready to go, they can take as much time as they need, but I've been waiting so long to play another Yacht Club game. I loved Shovel Knight when it came out, and I've played that multiple times. It was just such a good game when it came out, and it really started like that retro game craze and like during the PS4, PS3 generation. So I've been really waiting for this game to come out, and when I first booted it up, they have like an intro cutscene, and it's has the music, like it has that iconic music that they had for Shovel Knight. It just sounds like an 8-bit style game, and it just sounds so like Shovel Knight, and it sounds so like this game has its own sound too, but it just brought back like nostalgia a little bit from playing Shovel Knight, and I just had a lot of fun playing this demo, and it's a pretty sizable demo, and it has a lot in it, so you get to experience the game. You do a boss fight, you also like face some enemies, you get to see some of the save areas and like where you get to level up. I do have one gripe with the game. Sometimes when you jump, you don't know where you're going to land, which it kind of took me a little bit to get used to it, but I'll be fine once I get into it. But that was one gripe I do have with the way this game is designed, but it's so minor. It's like it's a minor issue, but I can look past it, and I had a blast playing this demo, and I don't know, it's gonna be fun leveling up my character. And also, I didn't expect them to have. There's like 3 weapons. You get to choose 3 weapons like when you start in the game. So this game's gonna have a bunch of replayability, and I'm really excited to play it. And then hopefully I'll play it multiple times with multiple weapons, and you get to basically play a whole new game. It's kind of like what I mentioned earlier with Castlevania, having two characters with 2 different weapons. You give two different, not two completely different games because the level layouts are the same, but you get 2 different experiences from the same game, which is very enjoyable. Now moving on to the games that I was playing. The games are out, they're like full games, but I didn't play through all of them. But the first game that I played a lot of this month was Mario Kart World. Since I was out of town for a week, I was able to play Mario Kart handheld. I didn't really play it much handheld when it first came out. I'm more of a docked Switch player, but I understand some people have hate for this game because it doesn't have as much content, or it's not what they wanted. But me playing this game, it's a fun game to pick up and play. Like, I'm not the biggest like Mario Kart snob, so like when I play Mario Kart, I just want to play a game it's Mario Kart. Like, I'm not gonna play Mario Kart like Gran Turismo or Forza, where you're trying to. I know you want to win the races and do everything, but this game is so random. Like, I played multiplayer a few times this month, and I played the knockout mode, and then I played the Grand Prix mode and everything like that online. And there's times where I was in first place for most of the race, and then out of nowhere, I just get blasted by a blue shell, blasted by like 4 red shells back to back, and then lightning striked, and then it's just like you lose at the last second, which that's just Mario Kart. So like that's like always been in Mario Kart. I feel like that's the biggest issue that I have personally with Mario Kart. Is like the game is just all chance, and it's all meant to make sure everybody's having fun. Like, they don't want everyone to, like, the same person to win over and over again. So that's one thing. But I do see some of the hate for the Grand Prix mode. When I did play Grand Prix online, I didn't love it's like you do like one lap, and it's not the same lap over and over again. I can see why people are hating on that, but I just think the designers and everybody at like whoever worked on the game probably wanted to try something new and try something different out than what they've done in the past. So I do give them a little bit of leeway on that, because they don't want to make the same game every time, I'm guessing. But it would have been nice of them to add a 3-lap mode. People also hated on the open world section of Mario Kart World. They just say it's like empty and there's not much to do. Personally, I've been enjoying it because like there's some days you don't really just want to like lock in on a game like when you get off of work or whatever. You just want something to like mindlessly turn on and just kind of like pass the time and kind of unwind. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing the P buttons all over the open world. I think I have like maybe like 200, either 250 or 270 somewhere between there. And I haven't really looked up any, not like guides, but I haven't looked up any maps online or anything to like show me where they're at. So I've just been driving around having a good time, like looking at the world, looking at everything, and just finding these little missions to do while I'm just driving around. And it's been enjoyable for me personally. It's just something to unwind with and kind of like not be like so locked in when playing a game at the end of the night and just kind of unwind. Okay, and the last game I'm going to discuss here is Resistance Fall of Man. This is a game that I really wanted to play this year in 2026. It was on my list. And this game, when I started playing it, I was like, oh, this game is fun, and then there's gonna be that I'm having a good time playing it. It's bringing me back to playing like PS3 games, and I have a little bit of nostalgia for playing PS3 games. But the further I got into this game, the more I realized I'm like, okay, this game is kind of, it's like a 7 out of 10 game. It's like an okay game. It's fine to play, but the further I got into it, the more I started seeing like there's a lot of pitfalls of this game. The story is okay. It's a fun story, and it's interesting, kind of like unraveling it as you're going and just getting the backstory of everything. It's definitely a fun story. It's not like a 10 out of 10 story or anything like that. It's a game of its time, let's put it that way. But the one thing that really like docks this game is the enemies are bullet sponges. In the late game, you could spend so much time like switching weapons and like just unloading all your ammo into certain enemies, which is fine, but it just seems like it really wasn't balanced the greatest. But it looks great, like it looks good for a PS3 launch game or around the launch window time, so I did enjoy that. I also I played it on 2 different displays. I played it on I have a LG OLED TV. It's a 55 inch, and I was playing it on there, and I kind of noticed like, oh wow, there's a lot of like frame dips, and like frame pacing issues, which is like synonymous with the PS3. So I kind of noticed them a lot more on there. But for the back half of the game, I played it on my PC monitors, which my PC monitor is just like a normal like 1080p like Samsung monitor, and that really hid some of the issues that I was seeing with the bigger screen TV. So I think going forward, I might play all my PS3 games on this smaller 1080p screen because it can hide some of those issues. Another issue I was running into with this game, I don't know if it's really an issue, but it's just a design flaw with the game, is the checkpoint system is not good. It's like, since like I mentioned earlier, since the enemies have so much life and they're like bullet sponges, you can spend so much time trying to like sneak around, and you're shooting them, and then you like have to take cover because you're taking damage or whatever. So you shoot, take cover, shoot, take cover, and then you like, it's just time consuming going through some of these sections. And some of these missions really aren't that long, but there's sometimes you can get all the way to the checkpoint, like maybe 5 steps before the checkpoint like triggers, and then you die. And it's like you have to do that whole section again. I mean, obviously it's a checkpoint. I feel like everyone here knows what a checkpoint is, but you don't know where the checkpoints are, obviously. So it's just, there's been multiple times where I'm like, oh, that's where the checkpoint was. I like died 5 steps before this checkpoint multiple times in a row. And it was kind of not like infuriating. I don't know if that's a little like over exaggerated, but it's just like, it could just trip you up a lot and make you not want to come back to the game. So there was a few points in this game where I was not wanting to play it the night like after work or whatever, because I was like, I don't want to play through that section again. And I may sound like I'm like complaining or whatever because the game's like too hard, but the game's not too hard. It's just kind of annoying and like tedious sometimes. And being tedious in a game like this seems kind of like not the point of the game. The point of the game is like you're shooting aliens and they're taking over the world. And overall, I did around 8 play sessions of this game, so the game is really not that long. I think it took me like maybe 15 hours to play, because there was a few times where I died and had to go back a few times. It would be like a half an hour play session and the checkpoint would put you pretty far back. But it was pretty enjoyable. I don't know if I want to play the second one right away. I think I might sit on it for a little bit, but yeah, I had an overall good time with it. And with that being said, let's go ahead and wrap up this video. Let me know what you guys are playing in the month of February. Were you guys waiting for Resident Evil 9 like I was? I know it was a big game. I know it's one of the bigger games that everyone's kind of been waiting for this year, but I'd like to know what you guys think of it, or if you guys are looking forward to it. And let me know if you've played any of these games that I discussed today. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on Resistance. I know I bashed it a little bit there, but I did have a good time with it. And let me know what you thought about Mario Kart and if it deserves the hate or not. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Leave a comment down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.